right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is August 13th, 2019. This is our 6th bargaining session with the administration. My name is Javier Mesa. I am Chief Bargainer for Graduate Assistants United. I figure some of us will go around and introduce ourselves since we're all going to be recorded today. We'll start with my left over here.
I'm Bobby Murmur, UFGAU co-president.
Andrea Medina, UFGAU co-president.
Jonathan Chiarella, organizing chair at UFGAU.
Okay, and we'll go to the administration now. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Sure. Bill Cannell, Chief Negotiator for the University.
Nadia Schimel-Cruz, Employee Relations Specialist.
I'm Paul Duncan from the Graduate School.
Kim Biley, Bill Cannell's Assistant.
Despite her best efforts, she doesn't keep me in line.
Well, thank everyone for coming. Thanks for tuning in. Last we left off, we submitted a proposal for the university's consideration.
Right.
If you'd like to address that at this time, I'll certainly hear you out.
Happy to do so. I've got a number of comments to make. We had agreed to extend August 8th was supposed to be the end, and we didn't quite get there. But the clock is running out. We have some issues in terms of ratification and time to get raises in place. With respect to the waiver issue, you can do it with full book negotiations next spring, but you can't use the waiver argument with the existing contract. You can put a proposal on the table, but it's not the same as what you were thinking it was. I will tell you that is a tough issue for us to deal with in a whole variety of ways. If you go down that path next year, I think we're going to have some very difficult times. And I guess I want to raise the question that I raised last week as well, is why do you want to deprive your members or put them through some kind of mill for raises? There's promotions, there's TA to RA, there's grant funding. We were talking just before you came in. We've got a person, an RA, who just got NIH funding, which tells you kind of the quality of our grad assistants that we have. It's a significant grant. It's very unusual for somebody to get it on her own. But she did. And just to put the topping on top of it, she's working on a dissertation. She's already got a postdoc set up for next year. And I think that's the kind of people we want to encourage. Okay, your proposal from last week is still out of range. The 2 fees alone are more than I can do, much less adding $150 raise to that. Calculating the numbers is challenging at best. And Stephanie in Paul's office has been working numbers, but let me just give you some of the complexity of it. You have grad assistants who are primarily state funded. You have grad assistants who have split appointments. You have grad assistants who are not state funded. I'm surprised her computer's still working. And she's put a lot of time into it. Last week you mentioned, I don't remember who said it, but there was a comment. We were talking about, well, how much you've come down in your proposals. Yeah, you have. But when you start as high as you did, it makes it very difficult for us to respond. I told you last week that raises of some kind are important to the university. So I guess my response is, to your proposal is we just cannot go there. We're going to reject. And so we're going to stick with our proposal. Now, having said that, if you want to explore some other alternatives, we're happy to do so. But I've got to get it in the dollar range that I'm talking about. So if you want to take some time and contemplate that and come back, Paul's got to leave by 4.
Before we go ahead and break and do that, could you provide some examples of some of the alternatives that you have in mind, just so we can make the most of our pockets?
Yeah, and you might go with 2 fees that are considerably less than the big one.
And I'll volunteer, based on our discussions, that, we were very focused on fee relief generally, and what I made that clear through my comments during these sessions. We do like fee relief aside the university's manifestation of a return to fall raises. They've been in January beforehand. I understand for the last couple of years, and the status quo beforehand was to do fall. So I think that our unit is responsive to that. That's something that we're interested in locking in some fashion.
You can't lock it in for more than this year.
Okay. So when you just so that we all understand, a promise for fall raises for 2020. That's not a promise to issue raises 2021 in the fall, 2022 in the fall, right? It doesn't, in your mind, it doesn't set that standard.
Well, that becomes a status quo then. It becomes a status quo again. Just like the one time we gave you effective raise dates in January, that one time we were told it was one-off, and then it became the status quo. So this was that status quo back to fall.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's not status quo when you go to a whole new contract next year when we have to bargain 3 years. I don't know what we're going to be at next year.
We could have said the same thing.
Who knows? The legislature may do something. The reason the university did it in the past, and it wasn't just you, it was everybody, is they were
Yes,
trying, they had
yeah,
some one-time money that they needed to spend. So it got annualized for you, but you didn't get the full shot.
I understand. I wanted to make, you can see
It
why
was,
that
it was
was
one-time money.
important.
It was one-time money again and again and again and again and again.
Right. You can see why we wanted to understand that fine distinction. So as I understand it, you're sticking with your current proposal. I think one final question, and then if anyone else has anything to add, I would love to hear it. You're sticking with your final proposal. You haven't said that this last proposal is your last best offer. I'm only asking because you said that you're amenable to talking about alternatives.
That's right.
So I just want to be clear, the proposal as it stands is not your last best offer.
If we don't come up with something else, probably yes.
Okay. I don't have any other immediate questions about the provost's comments. Anyone have anything to add? I don't see any hands. We'll go ahead and take you up on the caucus, and we'll come back and have a discussion.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Took some time, and we've crafted I guess this is probably as close to the final proposals we're going to get. I will say beforehand, I think we do have some differences about what the law says about waivers and contract provisions. I'm not going to hash them out at this time. I don't think that's the most constructive venue for either of us. That being said, I do have a copy of our proposal here. I'm now passing it over, and I'll explain briefly the changes that we've made. So, first off, with the current proposal, This is our fifth proposal, and we would keep the contractual 10.5 language as written.
Okay.
With this version of the proposal. As I mentioned, we might have some disagreements about what it means to revert raises back to the fall, but we are willing to accept essentially a nominal raise with a preference for fee relief, again. And with regarding the 10.6 language, we've scaled back, instead of requesting that both the transportation fee and the student financial aid fee, which is respectively the fourth and first most expensive fee, we're willing to go down to the activity and service fee as opposed to the student financial aid fee, which is a $3 difference, but would still account for about a third of fee relief for GAs.
It costs $28.50 per credit hour.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
To the university.
I don't think we're there.
And just to explain the silence in the room, I see that they're working on some calculations. I'm gonna let them go ahead and do that.
We're close, it's still not quite there. I'm disappointed that you went down to $50 on the raise. The university had some needs as well, and you seem to be ignoring those needs and saying our needs are more important than your needs.
What needs are we ignoring?
Hmm?
What needs are we ignoring? I'm just missing something,
I said raises were important to the university, and you're saying take it down to $50.
I don't think you're understanding where we're coming from.
I understand exactly where you're coming from.
No, it sounds like it sounds like you don't.
Well, then tell me why.
So I will
We
comment.
have many times.
Pardon?
I'll comment. So we said before, the thing about a raise is that a raise is taxable, right? Whereas fee relief, we're already taxing that money, the money that we pay to our fees. Additionally, the thing about a raise is that it is a great benefit that will wash out over time as what constitutes a continuing employee today reduces in size, right? There are more continuing employees under this contract today than there will be next year, and the following year, and the year after that. Whereas fee relief is universal and it's a commitment from the university that applies to everyone regardless of year. So that is what's appealing about fee relief relative to raises.
I understand that. But when you take it down to $50, you're basically saying that our needs are not important to you.
I disagree. If I meant to say that your needs weren't important to us, I would have used those words exactly. What we need to say,
The impact is that.
again, I disagree. I think that fee relief is a much more wholesale kind of relief for everyone. We're willing to entertain the university's offers on raises, and I would prefer a higher raise than $50.
Yeah.
But we prefer fee relief over those raises.
Then why did you choose activity rather than health?
So you're asking, so I said I prefer fee relief, and you're asking me why I chose a higher fee as opposed to a lesser fee?
Yep.
If the activity and service fee plus the transportation fee is more than the health fee alone.
No. If we did transportation and health as opposed to transportation and activity.
Okay, so I'm willing to talk about this specifically, right? So we chose that because it's more,
I understand.
quite frankly. Okay, so are you proposing that instead of the two named fees in 10.6, we consider the $15.81 in health fee and the $9.44 in transportation fee? Okay. I think that's a different subject altogether than what we were discussing, but we will certainly entertain it. So is this a counter proposal then? Just strike out the language in 10.6 with the activities and services fee and transportation fee, and instead doing the health and transportation fee?
I'm gonna put this on, I'm not putting it on the table, I'm just throwing it out.
I understand, we're brainstorming here. So, we just got handed the university's third proposal. Go ahead.
Exploratory, not.
Okay, an exploratory notion from the university. I'll just read it in. We've talked about the changes, but the changes appear to be, instead of a $50 raise, we proposed a $100 raise effective October 1st, 2019. And instead of coverage of the activity and services fee and transportation fees, instead the university will cover the transportation and health fees.
Correct.
By my calculation, the addition of both of those is, and help me out if you've got a calculator,
$2.45 less per credit hour than what our
$2.45, right, okay, thank you.
per credit hour.
Per credit hour. So I'm gonna do some number correction here as well, if you permit me that. And then I think, any thoughts, you wanna write down for me? that would constitute about 30% of fee coverage is proposed. Anything else you'd like to add? Okay. Anything else anyone else would like to add or discuss before we caucus? Okay. I think this caucus will be a lot quicker, but we'll certainly entertain this offer, and we will be right back. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your patience. We've taken a look at the university's latest exploratory notion, and if this were a formal proposal today, I think we would have a contract.
Okay.
I understand that you got to work out some kinks, so there's not a formal proposal, and you may
Here's my
withdraw.
challenge.
Go ahead.
Stephanie has been working on the numbers, and as I explained, those are very complicated sets of numbers. And I want to make sure that I'm there.
I understand.
That's my only concern.
And we would appreciate we appreciate that effort. As written, we will, and just to make it clear, as written, if this were the proposal, we would also, no problem with 10.5. We would reinstate it as written. I think given the circumstances, the prudent thing to do would be to set another date if we can, or we'll set up another formal extension like we have, if this is the only holdup.
Well, they might be difficult because we don't know when the numbers will be finalized, so.
No, we can probably set something up.
And I'm deferential to you on that, as you would know better than I how long it takes to figure these things out.
We start next week, right?
Yeah, on
Could you do it
Tuesday.
Friday?
Can I do Friday?
Yeah.
I can do, I can, I have a meeting at 1:30, I expect to go on until 2:30 or 3.
Okay.
So I can do before 1:30 or after 3 o'clock.
Let's do after.
So do 3:30,
That would work for me.
3:30 to 5?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so, that would be, just for those at home, that would be, August 23rd,
No.
I'm sorry,
16th.
16th.
That's this Friday.
Oh, this Friday?
This Friday, oh, okay, that's right, you literally just said that. And the time was 3:30? Okay. Any final thoughts and comments? Okay, we will see everyone, this Friday.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll email you the.
Excellent, thank you.